Hello YouTube, welcome back to my model railway channel here on the Isle of Wight. And again today we have two new models to review and have a look at and tell you about as well. So I've known about these for a little while, before it was announced in early August that EFE were redoing the Kernow O2 tank engines. These are more commonly known for on the Isle of Wight because this is where they lived out most of their remaining lives. It's not to be confused that these are still Kernow models. They're just being redistributed, repackaged by EFE and then sent out and distributed to more model shops, so they have a little bit more reach rather than just being sold through Kernow. So most of these are already sold out. From what I've seen, and the batch numbers are quite small. I did hear some rumours of 350 being bounced around for each, apart from the special and limited version from the Isle of Wight Steam Railway Havenstreet shop, which is W24 Calbourne in its Malachite Southern livery. So the two I have here today in front of me is the first one I purchased, which was W24 Calbourne. I don't know if there are any left. They're approximately about £160. They're limited to a run of 500. And on the right we have W31 Chale in its Malachite British Railways livery, so the transitional period. As I say, these have been made by Kernow and redistributed by EFE Rail, or Bachmanns, or whoever they're called these days. So these models have no differences from the original Kernow model apart from being a different livery and colour. So there are overall four available. There is, I think it's 182 push-pull fitted. That's in a southern Maunsell green with, I think, green wheels as well. There is W24 Calbourne limited and only available through Havenstreet, and W31 and W34, so Chale and Newport. And as I say, most of them have sold out. There are no changes in terms of mechanicals or mechanism or motor. It's all exactly the same. So if you're hoping for something improved, it's exactly the same. Same detail, same everything. But I have noticed a few small issues, well not issues, but some errors in the painting and the colour schemes, and also some of the detailed packages. So we'll just have a look at the detailed packages and go around them very quickly, and also compare them to an original Kernow model from, I think it was about 2010. So let's get straight into it. So detail wise on 24, the printing is really nice. The wheels are nicely painted, however they are lacking sort of black edging on the tyre, and also the decoration to the front of the tank is not correct, as the yellow line should be the same level as the side line, and also it doesn't curve around the boiler. It's a straight line up from the bottom and curving round just at the top. The model does come with detailing for etched plates, both on 31 and 24. Number 31 seen here is in British Railways Transitional livery. Would have been nicer if they'd picked out the British Railways and put a glossier rectangle around it to demonstrate that it was a transfer over the southern lettering, so the transitional period and the move away from southern Malachite into British Railways. It's great that they actually looked at the lettering, because it's not the same as British Railways mainland lettering, because it lacks the shading and highlights. It's just yellow with a black shading around the outside. Again, a nice livery, same errors as Calbourne as well, and also some of the steel work around the cab entrance has not been picked out, as well as also the surround of the lookouts in the cab. They should also be brass, but I just painted malachite on this model. Looking closer at the Westinghouse pump mounted at the side of the smoke box, nicely detailed and highlighted, but again a few areas are lacking in terms of paint, so the little dome nut on top, as well as the top of the lubricator, and also the burnished steel bands around the actual cylinders of the pump itself have not been highlighted, but just a single what looks like a yellow line around the outside. Everything's nicely printed and painted, and there's no complaints really, but some attention to detail needs to be looked at. Looking a bit closer at Calbourne, you can just about see through the cab opening. The detail in the cab has been highlighted in certain areas. Some colour codes aren't correct on certain parts, but someone can adjust that if they wish. It's quite easy to access. Remembering these are all O models, and remembering they're DCC and DCC ready, and they take a 6-pin decoder. Also remembering they are also corless motors in these, and not the standard motor that you find in many of the normal ready to run models. So looking at the detailed package you get with these, of course you get your instruction manual, where to oil, where to put your DCC chip. It's exactly the same as the previous versions. The smoke box door comes off, it's magnetically put into position when you pull the wiring harness carefully from the front to fit your 6-pin chip. On here you can see the detail. We have a set of fire irons, some root discs, and also the main detailing pack with the couplings, which is standard tension locks, steam heat pipes, and also etch plates as well for the model you have. However, there is a mistake on the detailing pack, and we'll have a look at that a little closer now. So here is the detailing pack in full. Some bits I'm not too sure about, and other bits I do know about. So we have 2 tension lock couplings here. We have an aesthetically pleasing sort of coupling chain. We have these 2 items here. Now these are wrong for this model. Now these are vacuum pipes. Unfortunately, the steam railway here on the island, and all island O2s, are Westinghouse air braked. So these are the wrong pipes for this particular model. It's unfortunate, and I don't know if they'll correct it, but there are castings available to put the right ones on. Please go and look at reference material, photos, etc. to make sure you get the right ones. Of course, we get the steam heater pipes around here. We also got the speaker sugar cube box, which will go in the bunker. And I'm not quite sure what this part is. I don't know where it goes exactly. I can't see it on the instructions. Around here we have what looks like the door for the back of the cab, maybe a replacement or a spare, not too sure, and also etch plates here for Calbourne. So overall it's quite an impressive detailing package, if a little wrong. So I thought I'd leave you with a shot of all 3 together. So the middle one is obviously the first release from Kernow Models directly. So this is in early BR lined, and you can see the amount of decoration difference from the silver around the cab opening, the decoration around the lookouts on the cab, as well as some decoration on the actual Westinghouse pump, so the gold or brass, and also the steel around the steel straps around the cylinder. But other than that, it's not too bad. Price wise, Calbourne is approximately about 160 off the top of my head. In general terms, it's about a £20–25 price increase from before, but of course we're living in a different world now and prices have increased quite considerably, so I think to keep it around 130 to 160 is not too bad. Some will say it's a rip-off. I know one person's already said it on their review, but he's quite poorly informed generally. shipping has increased by 700%, and the labour costs have increased, as well as decoration, etc., and also raw materials. So to keep it between 130 and 160 is not too bad at all. You can pick these O2s, the Malachite ones, up for about 127 to around about 130 I've seen them priced at. They're not bad models, but of course, being an 044T, they do struggle hauling carriages, balance, and also inclines as well. They're not too happy with those. So a nice level layout will be very good. These will pull 5 to 6 carriages on the flat, not a problem. My slightly modified ones, which I've done some work to, will pull about 7 or 8, so not too bad. But they are very light-footed, and they are quite small in terms of models if you look across the 044T range, like M7s, H-Class and all that kind of thing. But at least they'll pull more than a Hornby M7. Anyway, I'll leave you with some clips with them running. They're very smooth and quiet runners, and hopefully we'll see you again in the next review. See you soon.